leave quite yet if you don't have to. Um,
Hey, 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 hey. What's up, y'all? Hello, hello, hello. Let me get my little Sirenscape player. Get this loaded up. I'll show y'all what I'm working on. Um, oh, there we go. This should work. Give me just a second, y'all. I was not preparing to stream, but why not? I'm just gonna be sitting here working on maps for 2 hours anyway. I might as well stream it if there's people who want to watch it. Um, yeah. All right, there we go. Does the music sound good? And there we go. Dom's coming in. Excellent. All right. So I'm going to. All right. So what I'm making right now. Whoa, that scared the shit out of me. Let's turn that down. Wow. Okay. This is so Sound by Sirenscape is what I'm doing at the moment. Um, yeah, turn that down just a little bit. That howl. Yeah. I actually have wolves where I live, so that's fun. All right. Yeah, me too. Transform. All right. So what I'm working on some modular forests. You can't tell right now. I'll show you the ones that I just. Um, Give me just a second. I'll pull some up. Oh, I haven't saved any yet. So I'm working on modular forests. These are battle maps. I'm a battle map maker. I don't do a lot of the cartography stuff yet. But here's some of the ones I finished up a few minutes ago. So these are all seamless and they fit with each other. And so like you can build your own, either you could build like a lake, you could build a coastline, you could build a river. I'm actually going to be doing after this. I'm going to be doing ones with gorges down the middle using cliff textures, and then that I built, and then water. But these are coastlines. They link up with some town maps that I made. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'm making four at a time, as you can tell. So this is obviously not one map. It's four separate maps that are seamless at the edges. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. I've done one. I'm almost done with this one, and then I have coasts 3 and 4. Each of these is going to be 4 maps, so that's a total of 16 maps that I'm making at once on 4 different folders. Now I got to remember where I was. Oh, I'm sorry, Dom. Hello, hello, hello. There we go. Hello, hello, hello. Alright, so here we go. Where was I? And maybe a cat will come visit me at some point. He was just in my lap for several minutes, and he ran off. Okay, so I did my paths, I did my debris, I've got my modular stuff, I've got my water. I think... Oh, yeah, I think I was actually just done with this one. Now let's turn everything on. Yeah. So I think this one, I've got my paths, I've got my debris, I've got my... Yeah, I think that one's done. I think these are good to go. So this is a good spot because now I'm going to be starting over again and doing a new one. Alright, oh, yeah. What's that? Yeah, oh, that's just some light rock. Okay, kind of stood out there for a second. Alright, alright. Let's do control save. Haven't done that in a little while. Turn up my mic input. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I moved it closer to my mouth. I can't actually turn my mic input up anymore. It's already at maximum. So I'm just now reading. Alright. Alright, thanks, Transform. Ooh, it's like late night for you, isn't it? It's like 1 or something like that. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to turn my upper assets off. So you missed the tedious, obnoxious part. I built all of these. I built like 16 grounds, and then also I have some adapters of these to my modular town street walls, and I spent 4 hours today just making sure all of the pixels lined up, but I'm done with that part. And that part, I don't know if I guess I might stream that at some point. It gets really frustrating, so it's not my favorite thing to stream. Yeah, so yeah. Alright, so this is from the maps, the template that I took this from. These are all being unused. This one we are going to use. This one I'm not going to use. Okay, and these people's here, paths here, are going to go right there. Now, since this is the 3rd time I'm doing this, I already kind of have like a little system of what I do, so I'm going to clear that layer. Alright, and there's my modular trees. So let's take my modular trees. I'm not going to use those modular trees. Let's take these modular trees and let's put them here below my trees I'm going to do manually. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's turn this upper stuff on. So I usually start down here at the bottom, closest to the ground, and then work my way up. I've got some cliffs here, and I'm going to go through. Now this particular map's a little weird because there's not a whole lot of landmass. These are mostly water. I don't know if I want to be able to fit all of these cliffs in here, but I'm going to try. And I know some people might be like, I'm going to use the exact cliffs that feel exactly the right way for this specific map. Yeah. I have a tendency to more kind of give myself a palette of stuff that I want to use for these modular sets, which is sort of a little, it's a little different. It's funny, since I started map making professionally, the last thing I do is make maps. Like, everything I do is assets and modular tiles and stuff like that. Transform says it's just past high moon. So I'm gonna take a little bit of. I have been watching Alyssa, and if you do not follow Alyssa, what's her last name? Begins with an F. If you do not follow her and Domil, you should. They are awesome. I did this just because no one else was streaming, and I did really enjoy it when I did it the other day. And I know I probably won't get a ton of people on here because I did not advertise this at all, but I guess I could take a break for like 2 seconds and advertise on Twitter. Nah, I'm fine. Just kind of streaming and enjoying it at the moment. Crazy Mr. Valor. Always randomly streaming and stuff. See, I don't mind this. Actually, the hard, I don't know about for y'all, but the hardest part of DMing for me is doing the scheduling. That's why I run one game or weekly games because I just don't like doing the scheduling, and I kind of feel the same way about Twitch. Like it's the scheduling it, promoting it, and then actually following up and doing it. That's the part that is just stressful to me. Once I'm actually sort of here and streaming, it's fine. This is kind of creepy music. I like it. I'm trying to figure out how I feel about this. Alright. Yeah. Maybe something like that. One thing that I'm trying to get better about is thinking about how these maps are going to be used in my game. And I make all of these to use as a DM, so that's my intent. It's kind of part of what I try to do is make sure that these are things that I want to use is very important to me. So when I'm thinking of if the players are like running away from something or arriving at the edge of this map, how are the structures of these things going to sort of affect the game flow? And how is the DM gonna, adjudicate certain things like how tall these are, stuff like that. So it's like trying to make it more like someone could like take the high ground here or something like that. There we go. I think I like that a little bit better. Alright, well, let's toss some logs. Logs. Yeah, and this is, if y'all haven't, this is fine. It's just me like talking randomly about things that come across my mind. Once again, this is music by Sirenscape. There's a little deal in there. Being a DM, your Transform says, being a DM yourself certainly helps with map making. Players don't make maps. Yeah, so I think Tom Kartos is a great example of disproving that. I mean, well, I don't think he's played or DM'd much. Like, I think he saw a niche and has skills and is was like, hey, I can make stuff that looks as good, if not better, than the stuff that's out here, and he is. And but yeah, I mean, I think that's a differentiator for me at least is something is I'm trying to think of these as a DM because that's how I started map making. I didn't start map making because I thought I could or I thought it would look beautiful or I thought that anybody would pay me to do it. I started doing it because I didn't like the options that were out there. And when I saw the options of what I could buy, I was like, I'll make something that's good enough. That's good enough for me. And I've been doing it for going on 3 years now. Sorry, I know my voice got a little quiet there for a second. Alright. So, accidentally, I've got some tag along pixels there. No pixels. Ooh. Yeah. Kind of like that. Yeah. So, and as I said, I just, since I'm making these 4 at a time, it's kind of cool because I can just go in here and have the exact same assets. And since these are all modular, and it's kind of like, since you won't see these together necessarily, you won't absolutely be able to tell that, you know, I've got X many boulders and X many logs in each map. It's sort of the illusion of chaos, as it were, since I'm building 4 maps at once. Yeah, 4. Yeah, let's toss one of those out there. We should maybe. There we go. Yeah, like clusters of things like that. This guy is about the same size in most of the maps, so let's maybe in this one, let's maybe shrink it up some. And that's the other thing, add a little bit of variation by adding size, by messing with size a little bit. Well, I am loving stacking stuff on logs in this particular map. I have not in the previous ones, I just started doing that. Who is this? Link please at your leisure. Who is this? Are you talking about the music, Papa Fox? The music is Tom Kartos. Yeah. Google it, Tom Kartos Patreon. Actually, I can do that for you real quick. I'm always about supporting other patrons. Tom is a certified badass, and hopefully Dom and I can convince Tom to start streaming at some point. Thank you, Miss J Maps. Oh, Miss J Maps is here too. Alright, so there's my boulders. Alright, here's where it gets a little crazy, y'all. It's time for trees. And this particular map is not... Alright, so I said that I do... oh, you know, actually, that's a good idea. Starting at the ground up, but for trees, I've actually been starting with my largest trees and then kind of filling in the medium and the small ones afterwards. Alright, so one thing I've been doing, because this is the same grouping of trees, let's see, rotating it, we'll do counterclockwise this time. I think last time I did clockwise. Alright, and then... Yes, so just to differentiate between the drop shadows and everything, I have 3 sizes of trees. I go with large, medium, and small. On some maps where I'm doing a whole bunch of forests or a thick forest, I might even have extra large trees and then bushes layers as well. But with these coast shoreline maps, didn't really feel that was necessary. So one thing to be kind of comment about this. Whenever you're doing it like this and having all these, I try not to overlap. Like, I'm trying not to stack if they're on the same layer. You see how these up here are just barely not connected? I try not to make them touch each other for the purposes of like layer effects and things like that. But for organization, it's nice to have them all just kind of sitting there at the same layer. Let's see. Look at me, I've got 25 followers. When did that happen? That was just sort of happened at some point. I'm sure I can thank Dom for it. She is probably why I have 25 followers. Alright, go. Alright, there we go. Yeah, I think that's, we could probably use one more here in that little space. Yeah, that's a type of tree that's not on that specific, in that specific quadrant yet. Let's see. Okay. See, Miss J Maps says it was raining trees. Yeah. Yes, it was. That was for a road set that I finished up. I haven't decided if I'm releasing the modular roads or the lower levels of my tower city this week on Roll20. I've got both of them ready to go, and I haven't figured out which one I'm going to go with yet. I can actually show you. Here's one of those. But, yeah. So, yeah, these are modular too. All the roads that can connect. I've got 3-way, 4-way, 2-way, straight line, all that stuff. Some that end and start. And so this was the template that I took these trees from. I did the same thing making these roads, and I imported, well, I just resaved it as a new file and then started building my coastline stuff in there. So these are all the assets that I used in that set as well. So yeah, let me see if anybody's talking. Is there something you really wanted to make maps for? Just never got a chance to. Thank you, Papa Fox. See you later. Yeah, I mean, a bunch transform. The question is there a setting that I've ever really wanted to make maps for but haven't got a chance? I cannot officially talk about which Wizards of the Coast settings I've thought about making maps for and might be making maps for, or I might violate IP. So that is to say, I am and will be making, kind of setting specific stuff, but I'm hesitant to speak about that publicly in a format that's going to be recorded. So, but yeah, I mean, there's plenty. I would love to make maps for all of the different settings. Unfortunately, this stuff like this, one reason why I'm doing this is I've made some really niche stuff lately, and some stuff I'm working on and going to release, and I'm really terrified about how well it's going to sell. So this stuff, not only, I mean, honestly, I really enjoy it too, and it's not that hard. Some of that niche stuff is just really time consuming. So this is kind of like, I know it's going to make money, and it's easy. So it's just kind of a no-brainer if I'm falling behind on making sets to pause on making the other cool stuff, pause on airships, pause on all that, and just stop and make some wilderness stuff for a minute. Because this is, I feel very comfortable that this is going to sell well, and also that I'm going to use this stuff in my game, which, as I've said repeatedly, I enjoy. I want to make maps that I'm going to use. If it's not a map I don't think I'm going to use even as a request, like I really don't want to make it. Um, yeah, that's not why I started doing this. I started doing this to use the stuff that I'm making, and it's kind of a core tenet, and that's what I want to do. So, yeah, it's got to be something I want to use. Let's see, transform settings. So, Papa Demille, I got me some food. Great. What'd you get, Demille? Did you get anything? Did you get anything really tasty? My beef soup was tasty. I had vegetable beef soup I made with some ground beef from one of my dad's cows. Moo. Yeah, people actually do that. They actually raise food and then eat it. It's crazy. Yeah, beef does not just come from a grocery store. How's business on Roll20? It's good. I have eclipsed every personal goal I set myself. Very much so. Um, the new search system kind of messed some shit up for some of us. The big thing about Roll20 is being visible. My sales are completely dependent upon how visible I am in the store. And if there's ever a change that decreases my visibility, that is bad on my sales. So recently I've been attempting, at least through the month of September, I've been attempting to release a set every week. And at first it was fine, but that started taking kind of a toll on me very quickly. So I took some days off work, and then I've got this set. I made a set Thursday / yesterday. I'm going to finish this up today. I'm hoping to have another set done by end of day tomorrow, and then I have like another set that's like 70 or 80% finished. So that'll get me set up for like a month, a little bit over a month maybe. And then I need to start busting ass to get a couple more lined up and start working on my maps for October and try to get ahead again. So either that or I'm going to have to go back to just releasing once every 2 weeks and just accept the fact it's going to hurt my sales. So those are the unless you have like an audience, it's a salad. The meal says it's pretty good. Moo back at you. Salad ain't exactly mac and cheese. That is absolutely true, I believe. Salad is not mac and cheese. All right, y'all. I know that this is the stuff I can do while I stream, because this doesn't require. This is literally just like dragging stuff around, and it's not a big deal. Oh, my computer's running slow. I should turn off effects for logs and boulders. There you go. Alright. There we go. Alright, now it's time for the next one. Raining trees again. Except this time... Oops, they're medium-sized trees. Let's rotate these. Okay. Let's see what we got here. So here's where I start looking at like the layout of the map, and like you see I can see kind of little like where there can be a path in here in the middle, and I start thinking about this as a battle map and less as like a piece of art, and just try to think about the functionality of it, although art can be functional too. You can have functional art. Art does not have to be purely aesthetic. It can have a purpose and meaning, all that fun stuff. Let's take this. Drop that right there. Let's take this. Yeah, so I figure I'll probably stream finish making this map, and then my the next four, and I'll do those probably, and then call it a night. I mean, that's what I was going to do anyway. And as Demille says, sometimes when she's streaming, it kind of motivates her to finish and get stuff done because you know don't want to disappoint my audience of 6 people. In my opinion, the 6 most awesome people in the world right now are the people watching this stream that I did with 0 promotion and 0 notice. Because why not? Less stressful, actually, I think. Yeah, Dom, do you ever just stream randomly with that, or do you always like promote it first? I mean, I'm just playing around. I'm treating this sort of how I'm. See, we've got some stuff. Releasing regularly keeps you near the top of the list. Yes, Miss J Maps. The new people get a new tag and they get brought to the top. So, yeah. So what I would not do, Miss J Maps, is I would not. If you can at all, and actually, yeah, well, I guess I shouldn't say these things if that person hasn't said it. But Miss J Maps, yeah, if you do, I would recommend making several sets weeks like worth of stuff and then releasing them slowed out and spread out. I see some map makers who will like make like 5 sets and release all 5 in a week. And then after that, they get covered up by other new artists, and I guarantee you that hurts their sales. So I guarantee it. So I highly recommend making some sets and kind of just releasing them as you go to try to keep yourself visible and try to keep your stuff where people can see it, if that makes sense. At least that's what I'm trying to do, and I think it seems to be working. Transform, getting approved is certainly the main hurdle. After that, you're set. Transform 6 people is a lot when you consider the small amount of notice. Oh yeah, no, it is, and it's mostly because of Dom. Dom always on schedule and always post everywhere. Yeah, yeah. But I think I'm actually, I'm just kind of playing around right now. I'm just playing around, like I did with Roll20. I'm playing around with Roll20. I'm playing around with Patreon. I'm not. I don't think I'm playing around with with Twitter anymore. I think I've got Twitter figured out and how to get Twitter to do what I want Twitter to do, which is connect, meet people, promote my stuff, do all that great stuff. So yeah, I figure if I'm gonna do this, I'd been thinking about this anyway. I was like, what about if you just streamed randomly? Just to do it. And what I think that'll do is, well, it's going to show a little bit of activity on my feed, so it's going to be another video. Also, if I maybe kind of coach my audience a little bit and get them to kind of, pay attention. Oh, sometimes Mr. Valor does some weird shit. Then, this would actually be a whole lot more sustainable for me at the moment than trying to keep a Twitch schedule and rigorously keep it. Like that seems kind of unsustainable to me at the moment. Even like one night a week, like I don't even know one night a week that I could say, with 100% accuracy that hey, I can be available to stream every night on this night of the week. Like I don't have one of those. I play in a game every Tuesday night. I run a game every Sunday night. And when you're an adult, I've got like kids and stuff, and well, a kid, and then I've got pets and colleagues and friends and things like that. And I have some in-person games that meet infrequently here and there. It just feels like trying to book up any solid night, one more night of the week would not work well for me. But I mean, I can try. I can definitely try. I'm not committing to anything until I get 100 patrons. Got 22, so when 78 more people say we want you to stream regularly, that's when I'll stream. I'll definitely stream regularly. Until then, I'm gonna enjoy my freedom. Freedom. That was not a tune with copyright in particular. I was just saying freedom. That's it. Do not do crazy things to me, crazy music people. All right. Let's see. Some people do stream randomly. Okay. Oh, I need to go back to the top. Makes sense. Makes sense. Works a bit like that on Creative Market too. Okay, good to know. Mystery Maps. Demille, some people do stream randomly and it works for them. Demille, that's my secret. I don't have any friends left. You have friends. We love you, Demille. Everybody loves you. Transform. This means you get to. You have to get your pets to stream for you or kids. All right. Well, see, there we go. Is this starting to shape up yet? Are y'all seeing it? What's going on here? All right. So now we're doing the small. So I'm gonna do something different with the small here, real quick. Lamb. So since the small trees, I'm going to just actually play. I'm not going to use the stuff that's there. I'm just going to, it's kind of a small map. And once again, I'm looking at places where, like, I want to make some little paths and stuff in here. So, like, if I need to block something up or feel like maybe something should be covered up a little bit, then I can toss a tree there. But yeah, I'm not trying to create obstructions in all the paths. I'm just trying to, like, add a little bit of clutter here and there. And I'll do that with the other tree type too. Oh god, that wolf. Well, it wasn't bad this time. That first time it shocked the shit out of me. Oh, gonna get an explicit tag now. Said shock the shit. I guess if Alyssa can get away with her stream, Jesus Christ. I should be able to say whatever the hell I want. And Demille, you curse every once in a while, right? You're not like horrible potty mouth. At least you can now sing happy birthday since no one owns it anymore. Oh, really? I was unaware of this. No one owns happy birthday? Freedom. Sing random songs that I don't know. And there is an amount. You can do like, I think 6 seconds or something. There's an amount of the song that you can get away with. It's not horribly long, but there is, they can't bust you for like a second of a song or something like that. Although, yeah, I should have gotten a glass of water. I already feel talking is gonna get to me. Last time I streamed, I was very I did prep myself, and I had a nice big tall glass of water next to me and used the bathroom first. This time I just put on a headset because I'm crazy. All right, we're about to see this come together. YouTube is 5 to 6 seconds. Okay, that's what I was thinking of, is that YouTube is 5 to 6 seconds. I knew I'd read that somewhere at some point. Okay, so here's some clouds. Let's talk about these clouds for a second. These clouds are vivid light 30%. So what I've been doing with these is I've been using these to create kind of like a lighting effect on ground. So like in here, just the lights and, oops, it's not what I wanted to do. But I don't want them out over the ocean. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to erase. I already have them set up so that the clouds will not mess up my seamlessness. As you can tell, if you look up here, you can tell the edges. The clouds are not on the edges. And I've done seamless clouds before as layer effects, but honestly, it gets to be kind of a pain because you might have different effects for different type. Because I mean, like I said, I just did roads, and now I'm doing coasts, and then I think I'm also going to do like just a forests one where I have some dense modular forest tiles, some medium, and then some light ones. And so sometimes it's good not to have, your effects going over your modular set like that, because then you're stuck with them. Okay, so now what I've been doing is to give just a little bit of contrast, and you're not going to be able to see it, is I'm doing a 50% removing that effect on just the lower layer. So it's just slightly like darker and more bland, and then up here you have these bright lights, right, that you don't have down here, but you do on the tops of the cliffs. Oops. That is the top of a cliff, so that one gets to keep its little deal. All right. So, all right. And that little effect, and go in here. Okay. All right. Next, we're almost done with this one. We are dangerously close. So paths, just so you can see them, we'll drop this up to 100% for a second. Usually, so we want this one at 100, and I usually go down to like 150 to 200 pixels. Yeah, something like that. And when I do paths, the path should be, my goal for paths should be barely visible to the naked eye. If someone's kind of looking for it, but it should always blend in. And what percentage of opacity that should be always depends upon what your bottom texture is. Like if I have a map like this and I convert it to a snowy map, which takes about an hour or so, if I do that, then I always have to go in and lighten this path up, because these paths on snowy ground are going to stand out a lot more. Alright, so now I'm going over here, and I've had these other ones at 15%. So you can see, you see that there's some darkness here, but it doesn't necessarily stand out like as a path. It's just a variation in the ground, right? And that's what we want it to be. Debris, okay, debris's got to go. Well, let's do something a little bit different with this. Let's take a feathered pixel. Yeah, it did work. Okay. Let's take this and just do that and follow this coastline here real quick. Make sure we don't go outside of it. All right. There we go. Yep. All right. All right. Oh, one more thing. This is where I was when you guys caught me before. So I'm going through. Let's see. One word sung, sort of like a known song, seems more like a cultural reference than a performance. Yeah, fair enough, Miss J Maps. Completely agree. Okay, so let's go. I've been doing this at 75%. So wherever there's a cliff or rocks or debris on the ground, I've been deleting some of the grass, right? So the grass isn't going to grow as if it's covered in shade all day. I don't know how much y'all have been around cliffs, but there's typically, so one little misconception about battle maps: everybody includes tons of grass in their battle maps, especially in the woods. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way at all. I live in the woods. No grass. Zero grass in the woods. But it's something that aesthetically we find pleasing. We like, and in some woods, in clearings and stuff, you'll find some grass, but as a whole, very little grass in woods. Maybe moss, but that doesn't grow on the ground. That grows on trees and rocks. So anyway, but I like to have a little, and it creates a little variation in the ground. to have it like this, so it's not just all solid green. It just adds a little bit of flair. Okay, so here we're having an interesting situation. So I can't remove that because that is my modular layer. So I can remove this, but I got to be careful. And one reason I got to be careful is there's some stuff under there, like that little cobblestone road, because I took this from my laugh out loud. I literally just did that. That's a good point. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I do it too. I mean, you see what I'm doing, Dom. I'm sitting here and doing the exact same thing. So don't think I'm picking on you for it. But that did actually occur to me when I've been to Glacier Park and some areas that look like what the area that you did. Yeah, not as much grass. So that's why, when people are talking about realism, I'm like, realism's great to a point, but at some point, realism isn't actually what we're going for. We're going for real enough, right? We're going for real enough that people see the map and know what these things are and can identify them and don't have to ask the DM questions, right? That's really the point of a map, is a player should be able to look at it and say, oh, that's a cliff. It's going to cost me extra to go up that or go down that, right? That's the whole point of the map, the battle map, that is, from my perspective. It's really less about the other things is all just kind of bonus stuff. Oh, I love that cawing. That's so awesome. Although this is kind of darker music. Yeah, like these are kind of coastlines. Maybe I should have had like ocean sounds or something. But I'm digging it with the forest. Like, I'm all about that. We need... There we go. Let's see. That's a good point. The only woods near me has grass. Nice! Might just be... Well... Lots of piles of dead leaves. I think it has to do with, the slope of where you live and the amount of light that can get through. Where I live, it's on a hill, and there's lots of pine needles, especially in pine areas. I think pine needles will like smother most grass. So pines have a lot to do with it. But yeah, it's also about the sunlight. So the grass will grow if there's fertile soil and sunlight. If you do not have those two things, you're not going to have grass. But like in this, where the cliffs and stuff over here, I think this works. Where down here where there's no sunlight, you don't have any grass. And then gaps in between trees, like here, you do have grass. Like, I think it's fine. I'm not trying to nitpick stuff. I see a lot of grass and woods, and I don't. Let's see. Atop like cliffs and stuff like that, where if there's soil and it has good sunlight, you'll get plenty of grass. See how dense the woods are. Yeah, Relux. It depends how dense the woods are. That's exactly what I'm talking about. When the woods are too dense, not much sunlight reaches the floor. Exactly. Miss J Maps. It's true, but then there are aesthetics. What gets to me is drop loose in building maps that put are an internal room. Those smelly things need to be emptied out occasionally, so put them against an external wall. Oh, loos in building maps that are in internal rooms. Oh, yeah. I saw a castle map. Yeah, I figured it out, Miss J. I'm sorry, I'm slow. Rainforest is a great example. Zero grass on the forest floor, just ferns. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, y'all. So this is this map. So let's turn everything on. Let's click. No, that's not. I don't know if y'all were in Alyssa's, but I said sometimes I'll have like warning effects on certain things. So I have that on these modular, on these trees right here. I actually have warning effects so I can easily see exactly, because this modular layer is super important, because if it gets messed up, none of the stuff will hook together. So I keep a little thing on there so I can occasionally like check in on it and see how it's doing. All right, that's this one. I got one more to go. So here's what this looks like. So we got, this Photoshop being Photoshop, but yeah. So, yep. And then they'll break apart here at the seams. That's what those look like. And then there's the ones before that. And then there's the ones before that. So now we have our last ones. So let's get a start on these. I tell you what, y'all give me like 2 minutes. I'm gonna go get a drink of water because I've been talking for almost an hour and I did not think this through. So I will be right back. All right, y'all. I am back. So one thing I am going to use OBS for, can I see who's actually following me or watching right now? I don't know how to do any of that. Don't know what I'm doing. But I have 9 people watching me, and that's awesome. I don't know how to tell who those people are. Anyway, all right, let's do our last map here. I have to get a cup with a straw for streaming, and I promise I will always mute my mic before I slurp. I promise. I'm trying to have good, you can't tell who's watching. Timothy FW, I'm watching. Hello. Prepared GM. Hi, I've seen your stuff on Reddit and I love your work. Thank you, Prepared GM. I appreciate that. You are thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I thank you so much. yeah, thank you for the compliment. Thank you. That makes me very happy. You made my stream. That's awesome. I also watch your stuff. Oh, Prepared GM, do you stream? Are you a streamer person? If you are, you should share your links to your stuff as long as they are appropriate and family friendly and all that stuff. 'Cause we love that stuff. Okay, so we're gonna make a map. All right, I'll recap here real quick. So these are all modular tiles. Um, the edges all link up. I spent 2 to 3 hours today making sure that works and making sure that these fit with another set of mine, and I can share a couple of those real quick. Yeah, there they go. So these, I did not, when I put these together and included them with the wall set, I was a little sloppy, so I'm just re-releasing all 8 of these. But I'm making sure that these corners here, that these link up to the other modular sets, right? Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I spent some time this morning testing these and making sure they work. Yeah, and that's what I did. So, all right, back to this. Um, Stream GM prep. Well, prepare GM if you want to share links to any of your stuff. Yeah, people. Let's see. Can I follow you without? Um, I'll figure it out. I'm prepared. I'm afraid of doing too much stuff while I'm streaming for fear of messing it up. But yeah, everyone follow Prepare GM. Check their stuff out. And, Prepare GM. Feel free to share your stuff in the chat here. Links to all your cool things. All right, so coast, we got those here. Coast these, and so this is the last one. Yeah, so this one I'm really excited about doing this because this looks like you could put it together and look like a lake, right? But this is also coastline, so it'll link up to the other stuff if you want to make a river or a coastline or a big lake or whatever. These are all 25 by 25. All right, so I got to do a couple of just sort of housekeeping things, deleting stuff that is not needed. I should have pressed save before I went on break. Haha. I'm going to press save right now. My stream. Alright. Open link in new tab. Okay. And followed, prepared GM. There you go. You are officially followed, my friend. Yeah, well, this takes a few minutes, and because it's such a big file, because I'm making 16 maps in a single Photoshop big file, saving takes a couple of minutes. So it's not like a Word document where you can click save and like 5 seconds later you're okay. Like if you'll notice right now, you can see, maybe you can't, yeah, you can see up here at the top 37% or 40% or whatever. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and do this right now because I'm going to need to do it later. So this will just do it right now. Okay, so debris, paths, upper assets. So we're going to remove that. We're going to take this and toss this down here. This is my modular tree layer. Ah, no. I wanted you to go right here. There we go. Okay. All right. So now we can hide that for a minute. Let's start placing stuff. All right, cliffs. Those of you who watched the first hour, you're basically just going to see the exact same thing again. I'm going to go through and I'm going to place all this stuff, and I'm going to talk to y'all, excellent people, and. Excellent, thank you, Prepared GM. I appreciate you. I appreciate the follow. I don't have a regular schedule. I have not on Patreon. I just hit 22 followers. I've said that I will not commit to regular streaming until on a schedule until I get 100 followers, which will be like $400 or something a month. Like at that point, I think if the community is giving me that much, then I owe them like regular content. But right now, like honestly, just for those of you who don't know me, I have a full-time job, two part-time jobs, include map making is one of them. And then, yeah, I've got a teenager and two cats and a dog. And I play or I run a Sunday night campaign. Actually, that'd be kind of fun. I wonder if I could get away with that. Uh, Prepared GM is streaming my like Sunday night game prep. Cause I'll spend 1 to 2 hours on Roll20 in a given week, like prepping for game. Anybody watch that? Maybe I'd be kind of confusing because I'm doing well, but I mean usually a lot of that is setting up maps and dynamic lighting and some monsters and things like that. Like I could totally stream that stuff. I'd do it anyway, every week, most weeks. How the heck do you find the time? I actively ignore responsibilities that most adults consider important. That's how I do that. How about the Kapow? That was prepared GM. Miss J Maps. How about Kapow for a save emote? Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. That's. Yeah. Can we upload our own emotes? We should have a save one that we distribute around this community. You should do that. I love watching people prep for games. It's always interesting and very helpful to see how others work. Yeah. Prepared GM. Relux the Retux. Or no, Relux the Relux. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. A few people to do prep streams. I find them quite interesting. Huh. That's given me something to think about. Because I think I mean like to me that would be kind of neat and something different. I need to find some other. So I think you do DM prep streams, is that right? Prepared GM. Maybe find some other people who do them and kind of watch their streams and just see what people are doing, which is what I was doing here. I watched several of Dom's streams, and then I watched Alyssa's stream, and I was just kind of seeing what other people are doing and then what I like and what I don't like. So like calling people out and reading comments so that everybody kind of knows what's going on and things like that. Like there's some things that I wasn't doing at first that I think are probably quite smart to do that I just never even thought of. So it'd probably be wise to do something like that with a DM prep stream too. You don't like something about my streams? Tom says you don't like something about my streams. No, I love everything about your streams, Dom. I'm saying in general that I go and do that, but your streams are perfect. There's always little preferences, I think, if we're being honest. Like, I think there's always things that you might, like, I'll be honest with you, getting input about changing your maps and stuff and asking them, hey, what should I do here? I mean, you and I have talked before about this. Yeah, not going to be doing that. It's not my thing. It's not what I want to do. I love interacting with you. I love hearing with people on the streams. I enjoy talking to them. I think it's fun. This is a fun, engaging way. I love getting the nice, wonderful, positive feedback and stuff like that. But yeah, sometimes people irritate me, and I don't always want. I'm a little. I usually go into these maps if I'm self-conscious enough where I don't know what I'm doing, I'm probably not going to stream it. So I know you and I disagree on that, Dom. But I'm just not at a level where I want to do that right now. And part of that's my insecurity as a map maker. And I will 100% admit that. Like, I am insecure as a map maker sometimes, and that's me. And I'm working on it, but it's a work in progress. So sometimes I want to just sit and struggle with something myself in silence. Oh, and I do have a cat on my lap. Y'all can't see it, but I do. Maybe I can. Well, I could hold him up, but I'm gonna jeopardize peace in the kingdom of my house by disturbing his sleep. but I might do it anyway here in a second. You gonna let me pick you up, Bear? Alright, everybody get ready. I don't have a kitty cam like Dom yet. I don't have a place for it and don't have other stuff. But here we go. Here's Kitty Cat. Kitty Cat on camera. Oh, well he did not freak out at all. That was actually pretty good. Yeah, I prepared GM. Yeah, I stream DM. Prep pretty much exclusively. It's really fun because the people in chat help me create encounters. We put our collective brains together and come up with some really great stuff. Now, I agree with that, prepared GM. I think I would 100% do that. I would definitely get some feedback when I'm prepping encounters and stuff. But I also, there's a couple things about that. One, I'm not DMing for money. I'm not planning on selling that product. I'm also, honestly, a lot more experienced. I've been DMing for a very long time, and I feel comfortable kind of playing around and getting feedback and stuff like that. As a map maker, I'm a little bit, I'm newer, and I'm a little bit more self-conscious, and so there's certain parts of the process. Like, this is fine, this part's fine, but there's other parts of the process that I feel uncomfortable sharing and getting feedback on. So, and maybe I will at some point. But I'm just not there yet. It's, and I think part of that is being unsure as to whether or not the audience is going to see me resolve the problem. Something like this, there's very little that can come up that I'm not going to be able to deal with and figure out a way to deal with in the time that I've allotted to stream. But sometimes when I'm doing new things in map making or tackling something I haven't tackled before, I don't know. I think I spent 2 to 3 hours today trying to get my pixels to line up for the seams, and because it's been so long since I made the coastal seams that I couldn't remember what I did, and I didn't write it down. Some of my stuff I have written down. I need to get better about that. My night maps. Dom, you were talking about your night maps. I have my adjustments that I make to my regular maps to turn it into night for my sets. Like, I have that written down in a file where it's like, if you're going to make night maps, you always do it this way. So some of that stuff I've done. I've done and I have written down, and it's in a specific folder where I know where to find it. Some stuff isn't, and that's on me, but I need to get better about that. All right, so these are my my large trees. Oh, he's very straight. Yeah, he is. That did disturb the peace. He left my lap. He took that as a slight to his feline autonomy, and he has left my lap. He is no longer gracing my lap with his perpetual superheat, which is fine because my lap was getting sweaty. Some of these I was making kind of dense. We might not even try to make this that dense. There we go. Alright, let's see what we got going on over here. So the first thing I look for is, because these are just assets from a previous map, is a tree covering up anything that it should not be covering up. And if the answer is yes, then it needs to be moved or deleted. In this case, I'm just going to resize it a little bit and see if I can move it over here. The other thing is, by the nature of these layers, since they're all sharing a layer, for the purposes of shadowing and effects and stuff, I try not to let these things like touch each other. Now that over here, that's actually a different tree. That's on this layer. Yeah, those are my seamless modular trees. We'll see what the interwebs thinks of these. We will see. I never know. I never know. I make stuff for Roll20, and sometimes I think this is going to be awesome, and it is. And other times, I would say, oh, this is going to be awesome, and it's not, or something that I'm like, this is okay, and people just love it. So I'm still getting all that figured out. I think that's part of being a creative, though, right? If we all knew exactly what everybody wanted, then we'd all be Gabriel Picard. Or Pickard. Pickard. Whatever it is. Yes. Yes, Miss J Maps. Yes and yes. Rotating isn't specifically easy in Roll20 anyway. It's kind of choppy, and yeah. One of I'm not going to say problems. My goal is to have modular sets that don't necessarily look like modular sets, right? I think that should be the goal, is to build a modular set in such a way that people can't tell that, and that can be really hard. And I've seen lots of people produce modular sets, modular tiles, and you just instantly look at it and you see that it's a modular tile. And that's, I don't think, at least to me, that's not necessarily pleasing aesthetically. Also, and the first time I used like my modular interiors, I used those in a game, and the DMs in the group had no idea that they were modular. They're like, "Oh, we just thought you built this dungeon." I'm like, "Nope, these are modular 5x5 tiles that I linked together," and so I that's kind of my goal with these modular sets. At least the town ones that I did have done pretty darn well. People seem to really dig on that. All right, we've got a big old giant, like, lot of nothing in there. We need to put something in there. So yes, to answer your question, Miss J Maps, which was, yeah, I just realized all your tiles are not for rotating, can only be used in one direction. Was that to have more edge variety? Yes. The answer is yes. Although I am moving away from, and there's like full trees. I have full ones that are just nothing but trees that you can, kind of flesh these maps out with. It was in one of my base sets. My very first set included 4 25 by 25 modular forest tiles. And this is going to be an expansion on that set. And then for the other expansions, I think I'm going to do like maybe a dense forest. And then I think I'm going to have one that's forest encounters. I would sort of like to, that might be a fun one to stream. Because that one I have some ideas. And I've got the big problem with that one is making sure that I don't let it eat up all my time. Because I'm going to want to let it. But I think I might have some of these, like a coastal one that has like some docks and a shack. I might do another one, so this river set that I'm going to make, do one that has like a bridge over the river. Do one that's for the roads, where the road comes up to like maybe an inn, and furnish the inside of the inn. And just do like a forest encounters. Modular forest encounter set, I think would be fun and interesting and potentially very time consuming. So I still want to get these other ones done first, and then we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Miss J Maps makes sense. Prepared GM. That's what I look for in Roll20 maps. I want something that I can drag and drop with a few assets that I can use to modify the map so that it doesn't look the same if I need to reuse it. Yeah. And I probably should do that a little bit more with these. Is and I do have some asset packs, but asset packs are really, I have a tendency to make a few assets and then use them as long and often as possible. Like asset making is not my favorite thing. um, I could stream asset making. It's just so repetitive and time consuming. And the sad thing is I even really like some of the assets I've made. Like I think I've made some cool ones. I've made some potions, and I've made some books and bookcases, and made some stuff I really thought was nice. But whenever I'm sitting down thinking about, oh, what do you want to do today for roll 20, the first thing that pops in my mind is never assets. It's not my favorite thing. This stuff is fun. This is great. I like this stuff. All right. I think we're about done with large trees. Let's move on to medium trees. Gabriel Picard, Prepared GM, Gabriel Picard has some cool ones where he has a mask that goes over areas of his map, so you can have a hill with ruin at the top. Or you can mask it just to have a straight hill. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Thank you, Prepare GM. I I like this idea. I like this idea a lot. Thank you for telling me. I have never bought one of Gabriel Picard's sets. I've looked at his stuff. The only people stuff I've bought some sets from Meditating Monkey, and then I've bought some sets from Devon Knight, because Devon Knight is awesome. Not to say Gabriel Picard is not awesome, but as I said, I got in this. So I started map making because I'm a cheap motherfucker, y'all. That is why I would rather figure out how to make my own battle sets, battle maps, than pay someone else. Like I was like, nah, nah. I've been using Photoshop, trying to figure out. I've probably been using Photoshop on and off since 2005. Not well, I would like to say, but I have been using Photoshop on and off since 2005. I've had one college course, Introduction to Graphic Design, where I learned some other Adobe products in addition to Photoshop. I've had minimal Photoshop training. Like, I understand, I've been using it for a long time, and I understand the basics. I am not, but I am not a Photoshop wizard, and a lot of the stuff like the layer effects, layer masks are something I only tragically started using about 5 months ago. Like most of the stuff that you see that I put out there for free, most of that stuff is not using layer masks. Like I was not using layer adjustment. I was doing layer adjustments manually. And I was also, what else was I doing wrong? Like the layer effects up here, like this stuff, I wasn't using any of that. That's thanks to Meditating Monkey and Zatnokiel, who I would love to get Zatnokiel to stream sometime. That dude, he complains about software problem, like hardware problems, but hopefully, I think he's getting that fixed. And if he does, yeah, well, hold on. Let me go back up to the top. Miss J Maps, I'm not quite getting how that works. Devon Knight is the king of tokens. Is there another tile of a flat hilltop that goes over the top? Miss J Maps, correct. He might have camp. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm prepared. Oh yeah. I was doing everything in hard mode for a long time. Yeah, I really was. I really was. I didn't even know it. And then Zatnokiel, when he first started producing stuff, did like a little guide that he posted in DM's Academy. And I just happened to pop on DM's Academy. I used to mod that sub, by the way, y'all. And that was fun, and I enjoyed it. I enjoy helping DMs, new DMs especially. It's a kind of a passion of mine. I don't feel like I had a lot of support when I started, and I like to encourage people to the hobby and encourage people to DM. Like I want people to DM out there. Like it's very important to me that people be doing that. And anybody Anybody who discourages people from DMing is immediately on my shit list because we need DMs too bad. There's just too many players and not enough DMs, and all the gatekeeping and stuff against new DMs. Like people can screw off. Not gonna deal with that. Not dealing with that. We need DMs, and people can DM in their own way. They don't have to be the exact same as you. Everybody can DM in their own way, and as long as the group is having fun, it's good. So, yeah, and this whole I hear online. You ever hear about these things online and have yet to see it actually like happen? Yeah, that's how I feel about this whole Matt Mercer effect. How, setting the bar too high for new DMs. Yeah, I hear people complain. Never once heard or seen a situation where it actually happened in earnest. Like, I just, yeah, no, I just never encountered it. I'm, I'm, I'm kind of curious if that's like a legitimate complaint or if that was concocted by people who are jealous of Matt Mercer and are trying to put him down, because that's kind of what it feels like. And as a very long time DM, I thank Matt for what he's done for our hobby, and I think he's absolutely an amazing DM. Absolutely, and I have very very thought out reasons as to why. I've had people challenge me on that. I'm like, okay, you think I'm just saying that because he's a good voice actor? Okay. No, it's a bit more complex. I can rant about my feelings about Matt Mercer being a godly DM. Like, I can just rant about that. It's just something I can do. Let's see. Prepared GM. I totally agree with you about new DMs. It's exactly why I started dreaming DM prep. Fantastic. Good for you. I wanted to help take some of the mystery out of it and show how easy it can be. Fantastic. Demille, I agree with you about Matt Mercer, and that's why we get along, Demille. Because we agree with each other about stuff. Not little things like what to stream, but the big stuff, the important stuff. We're on the same page. All right, now he's clawing at my chest. Do y'all see this? There's a cat claw here. Yeah, you look at the bottom of the screen, you could see. Yeah, and people are agree to. I think. Well, I'll rant about it because there's no other conversation going on. His consistency and his ability to like go from A to Z, and like keep up with the story, and have consistent NPCs, and have the actions of the players come back to haunt them later, and literally just keeping a game going for that long is a level of hard that I think he doesn't really get credit for. It feels like people just assume that games last forever, and running a game from like level whatever to level 20 is just something that DMs do, and that's just not true. Like, it's just like very, like that's just super rare. And Matt's ability to kind of keep track of all those things and just keep it all organized and going together, like executing a crappy campaign from beginning to end is still a noble feat. Like, if you just manage to actively run and keep together a crappy campaign, yeah, you're doing good. And to actually run and finish out like a solid good campaign, that's deity status. And it's deity status if you're not Matt Mercer, to be perfectly honest. If you've done what he's done in a campaign in real life, or online or offline, but if you've actually done that before, you are very much in the top of your class. You are in the top like 1% of DMs in the world. There are very few who've done that. I have not done that. I have gotten very close. But um, Prepared GM, I think Matt Mercer is a very good DM. He's not my particular cup of tea, but I do appreciate his skill. Demille, yeah, I've never been in a game that lasted level 20. Demille, the highest we've gotten 16. Yeah, it's same for me, Demille. In D&D, the highest I've gotten in 16. Now, I've run, back when I was running Werewolf the Apocalypse, I ran that on and off for over a decade. It was kind of my go-to system for a very long time. I still love the system. I'm really big into fifth ed right now, but I'm a huge fan of Werewolf. But I had a campaign where one of our characters was rank 4, which in Werewolf the Apocalypse is roughly the equivalent of like level 15 to 16. It's not quite level 20, but it's getting up there. And so that game I think I ran for like 2.5 or 3 years. I've ran two Werewolf the Apocalypse campaigns to completion. I ran my last 5th ed game after a 1.5 years. I kind of did a reboot and closed it down. It was mostly complete. Like I don't have a big bad evil guy, and I don't have a railroaded plot, so there's not. I mean, usually my campaigns just kind of end organically when it makes sense. When it feels like an arc has finished, is usually how long my games last. Okay, wow, we are getting really close, y'all. We are getting really, really close. Okay, so we still need to do these. So I need to do my paths, my debris, my little earth underneath the cliffs, and then I need to do my clouds up here. So let's go ahead and start with these. Yeah, all this stuff I would have done previously using the eraser tool. I would have duplicated the layer if I was afraid of messing up, and then I would have erased it, and then if I made a mistake or needed to make a correction later, I would have come back and redone it. Oh my god, just saying it makes me feel so dumb. But yeah, I was doing that for over 2 years. And that is sad, folks. That's why I need to hang out with more map makers and artists like y'all, so I can be smart and talented like all of you. Because I'm really not. I am just not. But I am a hard worker, and so I don't mind a little self-deprecating, but just on the for real, I think my differentiator, I'm a super hard worker, and I will bust some shit out, and I will grind through problems. If it's a problem, I'll just keep hitting at it until I get it worked out. And that's how I will do it. So that's one of my strengths. Being bright is not one of my strengths. Blah, blah, blah. Prepared GM. Most of my games have run to level 11 to 15. Yeah, that's about me too. And then we choose to move on to a new campaign. High level play gets really tedious in my experience. Combat takes forever. Most solutions are just I magic it away. Yep. We'll see. No, I agree with you, by the way. That wasn't me disagreeing at all. So my campaign is about to hit level 10, and I'll let them vote about what they wanted to do. And I was running an adventurers guild where everybody had 3 PCs, and I said I don't want a bunch of 18 level 10 PCs running around my campaign, and only their main characters are level 10. The other ones are like level 6 to 7, but they voted to skinny it down and just start playing their main PCs. So right now I'm in the process of actively trying to kill off as many PCs as possible. And I know that sounds horrible, but I am, and they're enjoying it so far. And then we're going to focus on the main campaign. So I have a couple of arcs I'm going to run from level 10 to 15. I've got an arc planned out. We'll see if I get through it. And I may say, okay, let's run to level 20 afterwards. I might tell them I don't want to do it. So it just remains to be seen. I did a, I'm going to pause for a second. Hello, hello. So yeah, I did a poll on Twitter. Um, oh yeah, and Demille, I made this debris. I made this debris using a splatter brush. I love it so much. So I did a poll on Twitter a few months ago asking DMs of Fifth Ed or of D&D Pathfinder and DMs and players, um, what's your favorite games to play or DM, and DMs very overwhelmingly were not about high levels, not about it. Don't want to run it. Not okay with it. Not my favorite. Like they were not at all digging on it. There were some players who are like, I love high level play, but DMs, no, 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 no. So if I run a higher level, I'm gonna have to kind of think. I think the only way to do a high level play game and have it make sense is to challenge them through role play. At least that's what I'm gonna try to do. Is make problems and situations that they cannot magic away, where they're gonna have to just figure out a way to deal with it. So, at least that's gonna be my strategy. And if it doesn't work, and like what you're saying about the high level combat getting repetitive and just kind of not fun. I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you now. I'm with you. For a while there, I was really dogging on DMs. I was like, always making us start these low levels, blah blah blah. And now that I've been doing it for a little while in fifth ed, I'm like, all right, I get it. I get it. The game I'm playing in, we're like fifth or sixth level now, but we started at third level, and I'll be honest, I was fine. Like I was really I enjoyed like the third level. There was a sense of danger. Stuff seemed, I mean, almost dying all the time. Like it was pretty hardcore, and I was into it. I was into it. I was not. I did not feel bored, and I was playing some pretty boring classes. I was going from normally I play full casters, usually clerics in fifth ed, and I was going from like that to playing. Let's see, I made at first all I was playing was a rogue assassin and a gnome. Well, Kenku rogue assassin and a gnome barbarian berserker, and I was fine. And so yeah, going from playing like one of my last characters was a level 16 goblin wizard, and then I had a like level 14 human grave cleric. What else? Got a level 11 or 12 war priest. Yeah, got some other stuff. So. Eight people watching. Hello, 8 people watching. We're almost. I mean, I'm almost done. To be honest with you. Um, we're doing like the last little bits, and then the rest of it's going to be just like data processing stuff, where I have to name things and export it and test it and things like that. So I did my debris, and see what else do I need to do. Okay, I need to do this part. So I'm going to do something else that I did last time. So I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to... So a little complex to explain, but this dirt texture that's under is not solid dirt. It's actually from a modular town that I did, and so it's got some town things there. And I don't necessarily want them there, so I'm going to do that. Okay. Alright, so let's go over here. So we're going to do our black brush. I think we're going to do it at about, we'll start it off at 250. And then 75% opacity. And we're going to go over here and we're going to remove some of this grass. I'm removing grass around the base of cliffs, like near logs, boulders, things like that. Keep a little grass there on the top of that one. Let's see. Yeah, no one's talking. Chatter has died. Chatter. Alright. Everyone getting sleepy? Yeah, I feel ya. It's morning for you, though. You're just getting up, drinking some coffee. Being glad you don't have grizzly bears and wolves. Right, Miss J? Yeah, I think I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna. I'm not gonna stream it. I already went over my opinions on that earlier. Uh, but I'm gonna do a modular series of these that have like a trend. So it's these same textures that I'm using for these cliffs. It's the same ones, but I can build them together. I have them in their Scratch format. And I want to make like a series of these where there's a river in a gorge, rivers in a gorge, running through the forest. So I want to make modular tiles of that, and I might go ahead and start on that template when I'm done with these. Just to get a head start, I'd like to get that set finished tomorrow, and then after I do that, I'm gonna have to prep for tomorrow night's game. So. Let's see, prepared GM. Do you sketch out your maps ahead of time, or do you kind of know what's going on to make a lake, and then just see where it takes you? That you're going to make a lake. So I don't sketch out stuff on paper, prepared GM, if that's what you're asking for. Sometimes if I'm doing a dungeon, I'll use shapes to actually build the dungeon rooms before I start cutting and pasting everything, and that gives me a chance to sort of, okay, I want a big room here, a small room there, and stuff like that. Sometimes some of this stuff I will think about for a long time before I make it. The modular towers map, which I can pull up those. Yeah, I can pull up. Let's see. Whoops, that's not supposed to be in there. So I've got some modular tower maps. And I thought a very long time about how I wanted to design these before I did. Like, I spent just a lot of time thinking. And I never did, like, actually sketch it out. But, yeah. Maybe sketch it in my brain. I mean, I come to the table having thought of and, like, kind of analyzed strategies I want to take based upon previous experiences, and then I apply that. Great question. Miss J Maps. Yep, no big bad animals here. I have learned so much about creating tiling sets today. Brain is buzzing randomly. Well, fantastic. Fantastic. This is just my strategy. There's lots of ways out there. I don't think any ways are wrong. The thing I love about this method, the way I do it, is that it's easy. It's the easy button. It's drag and drop. It's not. I did a lot of polling of my patrons and other DMs who use my map and who've been using my maps for a long time. And one of the comments I've gotten is that we like using your maps because they're easy, because I can just I can minimize that prep and just drop something in and just use it. So that's really kind of my target audience and who I'm trying to please. So can't please everybody. Ooh, where'd that come from? Where are you from? Who is your parent? Okay. Yeah, a little stray pixel there hanging out in my water. All right, I mean that's it, y'all. The next thing now is to I can walk y'all through this next part real quick. We're definitely going to end here in a minute though, because I actually learned a trick today that I feel dumb for not having tried, and yeah, once you have it set up. Yeah, exactly. And I've been using these modular tiles as a DM since I've only been making these for like 2 or 3 months, really not long. As an amateur map maker, I was known as a hobbyist. I was really known for I was really known more for my maps, not for tile sets or anything like that. But when making stuff for Roll20, I discovered problems with quality. So trying to make it at the DPI that they recommend and have it still hit the 10 megabyte upload maximum created some issues. And yeah, I'm seeing a couple of things right now. Oh, whoops. Yep. Okay. We're gonna have to go and fix that one real quick. So modular tiles came out of a desire to have ready-made maps but still have them be high quality, because my old 50/50 maps that I was making made it 140 DPI just caused too much blurring. Once you get them, if you fit them in under 10 megabytes and then upload them to Roll20, they really just kind of suck. So my old method of doing it just wasn't as viable, and so this way, these tile sets that I've been making allow me to have kind of some nice pixel quality, but also set up ready-to-made stuff that DMs can just drag and drop. So that's been my strategy. And once again, I don't think there's necessarily a right or wrong strategy, but I encourage to think about and be very meta, and be very much think about the strategies of what you're doing. Yeah, I don't have anybody. Geek and Sundry, and it's me JP who's got like 16. Yeah, I'm not gonna raid. It's me JP. The no rotation idea. Yeah, it's just not. It's not viable. It's just not worth it in Roll20, and it lets my sets look a lot more natural. Yeah, well, and I think Prepared GM. I think your people like you are my target audience. You're the kind of people I'm. People who normally get Picard stuff, but who might see my stuff and go, "Oh, that looks pretty neat. Let me check that out." Like, I'm not trying to, I mean, I'm not going. Let's go ahead and be honest, brutally honest here. I'm not going to take away people who are avid Picard fans. Like, they're not going to get my stuff. You know, they're not going to just switch over and become Valor fans. Let's just be honest about that. But I think I do produce some cool sets, and then neat ones where they might be tempted to be like, "Oh, that looks neat. I'll grab that." Um, so, anyway, yeah. I'm not trying to compete with Picard. I'm trying to do something a little bit different. I'm trying to be a little bit messier, a little bit dirtier, and then have some of his sets. I would argue are not very easy to use. I've looked at several of his sets and said, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what this is. Like the instructions and stuff that he includes. It's like, okay, but if it's simple enough, it doesn't need instructions, right? They can just drag and drop and figure it out. So anyway, that's just me. That's me being me, and trying to differentiate myself from Gabe, who's a very cool person, by the way. I've had a few conversations with Gabe now on the Roll20 Slack. He's a cool person. Pretty much most of the content creators I've come across have been pretty cool people. But if Miss J, Miss J, and I have a creators lounge in that Fantasy Maps Discord. Whenever you're officially have something released, let me know and I'll add you to that. And if you have any questions on Discord, I don't think you and I really frequent the same internet places other than Twitch right now. So, but if you ever have any questions, reach out to me. So I'd love to make the. I had someone mentoring me, and I still felt like I had several barriers to entry that I had to cross. That I complained to somebody that I know at Roll20 about that, by the way, that their onboarding process for new artists is not very robust and is not conducive to getting new and upcoming artists to participate. Like, they really need to have a better onboarding process. It's just pretty. It's a little thin. It's a little thin, and I understand they have a lot going on, and I understand that. But I feel like they need to support their artists, because I mean they're making money when we're making money. So I feel like they have a wide interest in promoting us and helping us and getting us in on everything. So yeah, that's my 2 cents about that. But they're trying, and they're good people, and I can honestly say that I believe in the platform, and I believe in the community around that platform, and I hope I know there's competitors out there, but I really feel like Roll20 is a solid software, and I use it. I use it at least 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes more. I am very familiar with all of the problems surrounding Roll20. I am very intimately knowledgeable about those problems, and that's all great. All right, so the last thing we're going to do here, let's see, what do we have? Unless it's part of their filter system. I don't know what you mean by unless it's part of their filter system. You mean just not support artists and just see how many people it just sort of filters out? Is the only thing I'm coming up with? Okay, so here's the thing that I learned today. I can export as, instead of just doing PNGs, and I can select, oh, I've already done this. So, and I can select all of them, and then I can choose JPEG. I didn't know that. Like, how did I not know this? How did I not freaking know this? My God. Oh, the other thing I have to do, I have to turn these into night maps. I've been making night versions of everything, which is really simple. But I don't think I'm going to stream that. I've been streaming for almost 2 hours. I think I'm going to let this one go away. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Miss J. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel like they should. Like, that seems like pretty bad. Yeah, Demille. Oh my lord, this is saving my life right now. And it crops too. Yes, it's only going to yeah, it's only going to export what's there. It's not going to export anything extra. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I can sit here and adjust all of the qualities at the same time to get them under 10 megabytes. Oh my lord, this is so awesome. And I feel like such a dummy for not knowing it. But yeah, this is why I'm sort of into what. Oh no, see, yeah, that's too much, too much, too much, too much. There we go. I think that's the winner right there. Yep, there's a 9.7 and a 9.8. That's kind of pushing it. Okay. All right. And then here we are right there. And there they are. And then, yeah, one last thing we can do here, real quick. Yeah, if you guys don't know, just if we're sharing artist tips and stuff, I use something called bulk name, uh, or yeah, bulk rename, and this lets me go through here and it lets me like uh, rename stuff and add numbers and then add like metadata, like little tags and stuff at the end. And it's just been a huge time saver for me over time. So like over here, I can just do name, so remove, so uh, modular, forest, wall, coast, map, and then start numbering at as a suffix, and then boom. And then for the tagging system for roll 20, neither of you are probably really understand or care about this at the moment, but it's going to become relevant. And so here at the end, you can add a suffix and add what's my suffix going to be for these? It's going to be we're going to do forest, town, wall. And then whenever I'm uploading these to the Roll20 tool, the set tool, it'll automatically populate those as the tags that I want. And yeah, there's another little trick from another tip from Valor Maps. Yeah, Dom, I got some little things. I know things too. You're not the only one that knows things. You know more than I do, but I know that you know more. You definitely know more art things. Your art knowledge is vastly superior to mine. Vastly, vastly superior. Yeah, I might as well just do it with these two. Actually, do I wanna? Yeah, yeah, I will. Bulk rename here. Come on. What are you doing? Oh, okay. It's right there. That's why. Alright, so now we're going to do that. So remove. And then for these, we're going to name these forest, coast, or I'm sorry, let's do modular, forest, coast. And then okay, yep. Yep. for these, we're going to do so little trick also, water, forest, coast. They released an Excel spreadsheet of the most common search words in the artist Slack, Roll20 Slack. So I recommend, and I can get that to y'all if you ping me. It's from a few months ago, so I recommend looking at the most, at the best keywords for these. Forest Coast. Yeah, we're gonna do that. All right. Yeah. Are you not in the Slack, Demille? Okay, Demille, it's pinned in the Fantasy Maps Creator Lounge. It's the very last thing that was pinned by Survivor Monkey and the Marketplace search snapshot. It is in there, and it is linked for people to see. I thought I had it in there somewhere. All right. All right. No, there is an actual official Slack, Demille, that they don't tell anybody about. If you don't have an artist friend who's already in it, then you would have no way of knowing. So no, you need to ask the next time. So I sent a couple of emails saying, "Hey, can I get invited to the Slack?" And I never did. And then when I submitted a set, there's a little thing that says "Other comments," and I said, "Please invite me to the Slack." I've asked multiple times, please invite me. So, because there's important stuff going on there. There's communication with the artists. There's direct access to the staff members. If you're having a problem with a set or encountering a bug, you can report it in real time instead of just emailing. You can actually talk to the staff. Yeah, that's one of the things I was complaining about a lack of onboarding. And I don't know if I should be doing this live on my stream where it's going to be captured for all posterities, but I mean, it is what it is. Like, I'm not lying about anything, right? Just giving you all my mental download. Anyway, I think that's it for me. Dom, thank you very much for raiding me and bringing people over here. And I've actually had eight people. Jeez. Yeah, I don't see anybody to raid, so I think this is going to be it for me. Thank you all for watching. Oh yeah, well, looks like I don't have anything classified over there. You can totally see my my files with some people's names, but no first last names, thankfully. All right, yeah, yeah, y'all, and I will see all of you soon. Everybody have a great. You're welcome, Miss J Maps. Like I said, reach out to me via the Fantasy Maps Discord or ping me. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, DeviantArt, Reddit, Twitch. Yeah, y'all have a great night. Miss J Maps, you have a fantastic morning, and I'll see y'all later. Thank you everybody so much.